Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Just give me few seconds, I'll readjust the laptop size.
Maybe during that time I can give a very brief intro, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
So we're very happy today to have our esteemed guest, His Grace Gokuleshwar Prabhu, all the way from ISKCON Juhu, joining us for this very special class. So Prabhuji is doing a lot of management services as well as preaching services, and one of the most important temples in the world, ISKCON Juhu, very famous. If you just want to read about the glories of that temple and the devotees who founded it, you can see many great description in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. So Prabhuji is a disciple of a wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who Srila Prabhupada used to call the scientist, His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodara Goswami Maharaj, a devotee who's very dear to Srila Prabhupada. You can read about his glories in many parts of Srila Prabhupada memories, but you can also read in the Krishna Maharaj's last days of Srila Prabhupada last year, how Srila Prabhupada glorified Maharaj as being very expert. So Prabhuji is disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swarupa Damodara Goswami Maharaj. He's intellectually very accomplished, having gone to IIT Mumbai. And then, like he mentioned yesterday, he gave his life to ISKCON, or he's giving his life, I'm sorry, continuously to ISKCON, and serving as a vice president in ISKCON Juhu. We can all imagine how difficult that service is, but I'm sure he's just seeing service to his esteemed Guru Maharaj. And then he's traveling across the world, preaching very nicely, and sharing his faith and his understanding of the Shastra. Yesterday we had a wonderful, beautiful lecture on pastime of Lord Krishna and his dear devotees, and the instruction on having a steady faith, and that aspect of Goptripte Varanam, being understanding the Lord as one's protector and maintainer. And Prabhuji explained that in a very wonderful manner yesterday. I think everybody was very entranced by it. So we're looking forward to hearing from Prabhuji today, right now, and again on the passing away of Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra leaving his home. And then again at Sunday feast, I think Prabhuji is going to, I think it's Father's Day today, from what I understood. And so Prabhuji is going to expand on that this Sunday feast. So Prabhuji, without further ado, please go ahead, and thank you very much for making yourself available. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Jai Sachidananda Prabhu, and all the devotees. Yes, I'm happy to be here. And it was nice to meet all the devotees yesterday. Now on Zoom and again in the temple. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, entitled Creation, Chapter 13, verse number 36. 36 and 37, okay. 36 doesn't have a purport, so we will recite 36 now. Vimraja panibhyam Vishtabhyatmanam atmanam Ajata shatrum pratyuche Prabho pada anusmaran. Okay, we just go ahead, huh? Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, translation by Srila Prabhupada. First, he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and wiping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master Dhritarashtra, he began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Next verse, 37. Sanjay Vacha Natham Veda Vyavasitam Pitrorva Kulanandana Gandharya Va Mahabaho Mushito Asmi Mahatmabhi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sanjay said, my dear descendant of the Kuru dynasty, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. O king, I have been cheated by those great souls. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. That great souls cheat others may be astonishing to know, but it is a fact that great souls cheat others for a great cause. It is said that Lord Krishna also advised Yudhishthira to tell a lie before Dronacharya, and it was also for a great cause. The Lord wanted it, and therefore it was a great cause. Satisfaction of the Lord is a criterion of one who is bona fide. And the highest perfection of life is to satisfy the Lord by one's occupational duty. That is the verdict of Gita and Bhagavatam. Dhritarashtra and Vidura, followed by Gandhari, did not disclose their determination to Sanjaya, although he was constantly with Dhritarashtra as his personal assistant. Sanjay never thought that Dhritarashtra could perform any act without consulting him. But Dhritarashtra's going away from home was so confidential that it could not be disclosed even to Sanjay. Sanatana Goswami also cheated the keeper of the prison house while going away to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami also cheated his priest and left home for good to satisfy the Lord. To satisfy the Lord, anything is good, or it is in relation with the absolute truth. We also had the same opportunity to cheat the family members and leave home to engage in the service of Srimad Bhagavatam. Such cheating was necessary for a great cause, and there is no loss for any party in such transcendental fraud. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So after the Mahabharata war, Yudhishthira, he became the emperor of the planet, and Duryodhana died with all his brothers, and Dhritarashtra's army was defeated. Still, Dhritarashtra continued to stay in the palace under the care of Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Yudhishthira Maharaj will offer respect and service to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra continued to get attached to the respect and the opulence and the comfort of the palace. To Vidura, he came back. Vidura didn't participate in the war. He went for pilgrimage and he met there Maitreya Rishi. And he asked many questions to Maitreya Rishi, who answered. And Vidura, who is already a pure devotee of Krishna, he became further mature and grew in his Krishna consciousness. So now, with further realizations, he came back to Hastinapur with one mission, lifelong mission, to preach to Dhritarashtra, to convince him to give up his comfortable position in the palace and try for tapasya, austerities, and meditation and liberation. So he came back to the palace and he spoke to Dhritarashtra, and he spoke very convincingly, very logically, and very sharp words to cut the attachment Dhritarashtra had. He spoke to him that you are becoming old, your eyesight is weak, your ears are weak, who knows when you will die? You are feeble, your intelligence is weak. Whole life you had this wrong ambition of making Duryodhana the king. And you were blind by eyes and you were blind by knowledge. And now Bhima is serving you food and you are eating it. And this is same Bhima who had killed your 100 sons and is throwing you food like a dog. And you are like a household dog eating here. So when Vidura directly compared him to a dog, that was a sharp word. And the attachment in the heart, sometimes a surgeon uses sharp instrument to cut our infection. So in the same way, a pure sadhu, he uses sharp words to cut our attachments. A pure sadhu is our well-wisher. And we should not expect him to be a sweet speaker. We should expect him to be a truth speaker. And truth is not always sweet. Truth may be bitter. And we should be happy to receive bitter words from a pure sadhu who is our well-wisher, because that will cut our attachment. We can't go to surgeon and say, do painless surgery, don't use sharp knife, do use soft cottons. No, then how will the surgery happen? There are some treatments like cancer where they do treatment destroying the cancer cells, and there is a side effect, and other parts of the body, other cells also can get damaged, hair loss can happen, and other side effects. But they do that. They give pain and loss to the patient because there's higher cause, and the higher cause is the patient should survive and the cancer should be removed. So a sadhu is not worried about, necessarily worried about how we feel after hearing, but is worried about how to cut the attachments. Of course, if it is possible to do it sweetly, a sadhu will do that. But a sadhu should be ready with sharp instrument, sharp words, truth to cut our attachments. And we should be happy to have such a sadhu in our life, especially when we do a mistake. If I do a mistake and there is nobody to correct me, and I don't know it's a mistake, the next day I'll do the same mistake again. Again, nobody corrects me. So third time, I will do the same mistake again. Again, nobody corrects me. Fourth time, I'll do the same mistake again. Fifth time, 10th time, 20 times, 30 times, it will become my habit. And in few months and year, the habit becomes strong habit, old habit, and then it's very difficult to correct. And after few years, that habit becomes part of my behavior and nature, and I die without being perfect. Then I can't come back to Godhead. Next life, I'll have to repair myself. So that habit becomes part of me. And after few years, I become senior devotee in the community. And all around me mostly are juniors. And juniors don't correct seniors. So I remain with that habit, I remain with that behavior, I remain with that nature, not getting corrected. And that is not good. So it is important to have honest well-wisher sadhus around me who will correct me. Prabhu, this is not appropriate way to perform service. Please change. And when I get corrected, I go towards growth. I go towards perfection. But this exchange and conversation of correction may be painful to our ego because it is a surgery of the heart, and it looks like a sharp instrument or sharp word, but we should be happy. We should say, surgeon, my dear surgeon, thank you very much for cutting me because you're curing my disease. So Vidura had to use sharp words, which he didn't use all his life as a minister. But now, as a further realized soul, no longer on the boundaries of minister and respect towards the king, he used sharp word as a sadhu and indirectly called Dhritarashtra dog. And this opened up Dhritarashtra's eyes. And under the guidance of Vidura, he decided to leave to the forest for practicing meditation and liberation. And he left midnight without informing anybody, as it's a confidential activity. If you try to inform your near and dear ones about your renunciation, they may make your resolve weak. They may make your determination weak because they will say, oh, you are so old man and you are blind and you have never stayed in the forest. You are used to comforts of the royal palace. You are used to the servants. How will you stay in the forest? Just sit here and chant Hare Krishna, and a person can become weak. So he didn't inform anybody. He left in the dark. Nobody knows. Next day, Yudhishthira Maharaj woke up in the morning, performed his morning duties, and one of his routine was to go and pay obeisances and seek blessings of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. See, Yudhishthira Maharaj is so nice. Even though he won the war, even though he became the emperor, but still he would offer respect to Dhritarashtra, even the way he was when Dhritarashtra was the king. Yudhishthira's attitude towards Dhritarashtra didn't change, that he is no longer the king and I am the boss here. and he is dependent on me, and he was instrument of insulting my wife. No, he still offer respect to Dhritarashtra. We should learn this, to not carry grudges for people around us, especially when there is already forgiveness done, sort out meeting done. They had a war. They sorted out. So Yudhishthira Maharaj went to pay respects and he saw they were not there. And nobody knows where they are. For a blind person to go away is a matter of crisis and panic, because he has no eyes and he has gone away without informing and without any assistance. Practically no assistance. Of course, Vidura is there. So Yudhishthira is concerned. Why did they go away? Where did they go away? Are they unhappy with me? Did I insulted them? Did I didn't serve them properly? Are they in the trauma and they think I am their enemy because we killed their sons? So many thoughts Yudhishthira had. But before that, he wanted to confirm. So he went to Sanjaya. Sanjaya is the secretary come assistant of Dhritarashtra. He was with Dhritarashtra practically 24 hours. He knows the schedule of Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra will not do anything without Sanjaya's advice. And Sanjaya would know everything. Sanjaya is the one who would see people before Dhritarashtra could know who is coming to meet him. So he went to Sanjaya. Sanjaya was crying and he was disturbed and he was agitated in his mind. And somehow, when Yudhishthira came, he wiped his tears and he composed himself and he remembered the lotus feet of Dhritarashtra and he told, my dear Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, I don't know where is Dhritarashtra and where is Mother Gandhari. They went away without informing me, and I am surprised and shocked how they can act like this. They cheated me. Cheated me doesn't mean they took away his money and left. Cheated me means they didn't take him into confidence. And Srila Prabhupada makes a nice statement. Sometimes great soul cheat for great cause. Of course, that is not a license to us. Even though we are serving Krishna, which is a great cause, but we are not great souls. So we should not take this as a license and think, I will cheat for a great cause. But we are not great souls. Mahatma, Mahanatma. We should be careful, follow our ethics and etiquette. But here, this cheating is considered normal among spiritual circles. Cheating, which means renunciation of attachments and family members without informing them. Many kings would do that. At dead night, without informing anybody, they will go away from the palace. The family, the queen, the children, the guard, the ministers, the servants, the friends, the associates, the subjects, the praja, nobody will know where they are. For example, King Anga. King Anga is a pure devotee. His son was Vain, King Vain. And he left at midnight. Nobody knew. And many great kings would do that. Prabhupada gives example of Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami was arrested by the king, Muslim king Nawab Hussain Shah. And he arrested Sanatan Goswami because Sanatan Goswami was studying Bhagavatam in the house and not coming to the king for service. He was the minister, prime minister. So the king wanted to go for a war. So he told Sanatan, come with me. And Sanatan said, I am not well. He sent a message, I am not well. I am on sick leave. So the king thought, oh, Sanatan is on sick leave. I should go and meet him. And he went home. He saw he's studying Bhagavatam with other scholars. So he told him, I am going for a war. You should not pretend to be sick. You just come with me. He said, I am not interested. And the king arrested him and put him in prison and went on the war. Now, in the prison, Sanatana Goswami was getting very, very um, disturbed, agitated to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But the prison officer, who was a Muslim person, he would not let him go. So he told the prison officer uh, that, look, you are such a saintly person, you are such a religious person, and you would always like to go to holy place, Mecca. I also want to go to holy place Mecca, but I am in the jail. Please release me. And he convinced him. Of course, he didn't just got convinced with words. He also offered him lots of gold coins. And he released him and he went away, not to Mecca, but to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is kind of cheating. Uh, Give example of Raghunath Das Goswami, who repeatedly left his house to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but repeatedly his father's guards and servants would chase him and bring him back. And even got him married to a beautiful girl so that he doesn't leave his house. But he would repeatedly continue to do that. But always he was not successful. So one day, the father's priest came to the house of Raghunath Das Goswami and asked him for some service. And Raghunath Das Goswami left the house to do that service, but then he got a chance. And instead of doing that service, he ran away to the forest and eventually joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is kind of cheating. Even Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj in the battlefield of Kurukshetra to speak lies that Ashwathama has died. Dronacharya's son Ashwathama, Dronacharya had great affection for Ashwathama. And the only way to kill Dronacharya is when Dronacharya gives up his weapons. And Dronacharya will give up his weapons when he hears the painful news that his son has died. But nobody can kill Ashwathama. It's not easy. Even today he's alive. So they killed an elephant called Ashwathama. And they spread the news that Ashwathama has died. Ashwathama has died. So Dronacharya came to Yudhishthira to confirm because Yudhishthira never spoke lies in his life. So Krishna told Yudhishthira to speak lies. Yudhishthira didn't want to speak lies. And Krishna explained him, and when Yudhishthira spoke, Ashwathama, Hathi, has died. When he spoke Hathi, everybody made so much noise that Dronacharya only heard Ashwathama has died. So basically, he spoke lies to convince Dronacharya. Dronacharya gave up weapons, and that's how he was killed by Drishtadyumna. Now it is said Yudhishthira Maharaj had to visit hell for a few moments. Not because he spoke lies. That's a wrong conception. Yudhishthira Maharaj had to visit hell because he hesitated to obey Krishna's order of speaking lies. Dharma is what Krishna says to do. If Krishna says to speak lies, then speaking lies is dharma. But that is a special case for Yudhishthira Maharaj. For us, Krishna has not come and told to speak lies. For us, dharma is to speak truth. That is an instruction. So we should not take this as an example for us to imitate. But we should understand Krishna consciousness or some aspects of Krishna consciousness is beyond ordinary morality, and that is fine. We also have example of Vasudeva. When Krishna is born in the jail of Kans, prison of Kans, on Krishna's instruction, Vasudeva took Krishna in a basket and came out of he escaped the prison and he crossed the Yamuna. And like a thief, he entered the room of Yashoda Maya, the wife of his friend Nand Maharaj, and kept his boy and took the girl child and came back or comes to kill the girl child. Now, this is not moral. Escaping prison is not considered moral activity. Going to the room of your friend's wife at night, 12 o'clock, that too not from the door, but from a thief, like a thief entering the mahal, entering the residence. That is not considered moral. And keeping your boy child and taking the girl child so that the girl child is killed and the boy child is protected, that is not moral. What if Nanda Maharaj had seen, or somebody had seen Vasudev in coming out of Yashoda's room, it would be a big scandal that what is Vasudev doing in Yashoda's room at night, and how did he come here from the prison, and why didn't he come and meet Nanda Maharaj first, or why didn't he come from the front door? It would have been a big scandal if Vasudev was caught coming out of Yashoda's room. It was a big scandal if they knew that Vasudev exchanged the baby so that Yashoda's girl is in danger and she gets killed by Kamsa and his boy is protected. This is not morality. And Vasudev was very well known for his moral values and truthfulness, so much so that Kamsa had faith on Vasudev. When Vasudev told, don't kill Devaki, I will supply all the children to you, Kamsa had faith that he will supply, because Vasudeva cannot go away from his words. So Vasudeva was known as a very highly valued, cultured, moral person. And Vasudeva was ready to put stake all his character, reputation, name, fame, morality, just to please Krishna. He didn't think that what if I am caught, what if my name goes down, what Nand Maharaj sees me coming out of Yashoda's room. He just thought that I have to please Krishna. I have to obey Krishna. I have to follow the instructions of Krishna. And he did that. But what he did was beyond morality. Krishna consciousness is transcendental to material good and bad. Beyond morality. Prahlad Maharaj, in front of him, his father is being killed. And he is standing with folded hands, worshipping the killer of his father. And after the murder, after the killing of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj is paying obeisances to the killer of his father. That is not considered moral. But he did that because he is pure devotee, transcendental to material good and bad. So so in this world, there is morality, values, ethics, and we do preach about that, but we should know Krishna consciousness is above that. At the same time, each one of us should follow this moral values. We should not steal or be unclean or lazy or speak lies in the name of Krishna consciousness. Please don't do that. We should not do that. That will spoil the name of ISKCON. That will spoil the name of Prabhupada and spiritual master. And it will spoil the name of devotees and Krishna. We should follow all the rules of the society and the country in the process of reaching Krishna consciousness and practicing Krishna consciousness. This is for great souls. And this kind of cheating for renunciation is to cut their attachments. Each one of us have attachments, 5 attachments. Each one of us have 5 attachments. The first attachment is attachment to the body and the objects related to the body. The attachment to the body is so strong that we think, I am this body, I am boy, I am girl, and my house, my car, my mobile, my clothes, my money, I am me, my mind. This is the first attachment, body and objects related to the body. Second attachment is people related to the body, relatives, my father, my mother, my husband, my wife, my son, my daughter, my neighbor, my friend, my relatives. There is second attachment, people related to the body. Third attachment is land of birth, my country, my village, my city where I was born. There's attachment, there's affection. Even if you're staying in a different country or a different city, but you are always having affection and you want to know the news of the land of your birth. Desha Bhakti. That is second attachment. Third attachment. Fourth attachment is attachment to modern science. Whatever scientists say, we agree and we look forward to their solutions and opinions. That science is all good, all correct, all truthful. Fourth attachment is attachment to religion, so-called Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, my religion, your religion. So there are 5 attachments. Attachment to body and objects related to the body, possessions, attachment to relatives, persons related to the body, attachment to land of birth, attachment to modern science, and attachment to religion. Unless these attachments are cut, we cannot get liberation. So Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur gives a nice story of a bridegroom party who went to a boatman to cross a river overnight so that morning they can go for the marriage, for the morning muhurta. And they told the boatman, please don't sleep because it is 6 hour journey. You should make us reach overnight. And all passengers sat on the boat, and of course passengers slept. Morning when they woke up, they are at the same place where they started. So they scolded the boatman. We told you not to sleep. Why did you sleep? Look, we missed the time, Murta time. The boatman said, sir, I didn't sleep. Whole night I rowed the boat. My hands are paining. So if whole night he rowed the boat in dark, why didn't the boat move? And they figure out he didn't untie the rope which the boat was tied to on the bank. So if you don't untie the rope, don't lift the anchor and keep on rowing the boat, where will you go? Nowhere. So we have 5 ropes, 5 attachments, and if we don't cut them, we cannot go forward towards liberation. So this have to pick up with sharp sword, sharp words of sadhus, sharp word of guru, and sharp words of scriptures. And sometimes scriptures use these words, calling a conditioned soul like a camel, like a dog, like a donkey, because these animals, they are only into sense enjoyment. Like a camel in the desert eats thorns, dry thorns, cactus, and the thorn go inside the mouth and make wound. They pierce the skin and blood comes out, and the blood mixes with the thorns, and the camel is enjoying the taste of the blood, thinking I am having wet sabji, very nice. But you fool, you are enjoying your own blood. In the same way, a conditioned soul works very hard, giving his blood and sweat to earn some dollars, and then he goes to the mall and shopping and throws the dollars to get some objects, thinking I am enjoying, but you are enjoying your own blood and your own sweat. And a person who is so much addicted to sex enjoyment, he discharges his semen at night and he thinks I am enjoying, but actually even 1 drop of semen is equal to 40 drops of blood. After good amount of time, 40 drops of blood form 1 drop of semen. So it is foolishness to waste our blood and think I am enjoying. Or like a donkey, donkey whole day he's working hard like a washerman's donkey. But at the end he gets little grass, but he doesn't understand grass is available free. He doesn't have to work. So this dog and donkey words are used, camel words are used to awaken us. Sharp words are sometimes required. And a sadhu can speak sharp words only when he doesn't compromise his purity. A sadhu should be very, very pure, uh, doing his sadhana, chanting minimum 16 rounds, following 4 executive principles, reading Bhagavatam, and have no attachment to money, renowned sadhu, no attachment to money, no attachment to luxury, no attachment to nice accommodation, no attachment to nice woman, no attachment to nice food, but live a very simple life. If a sadhu becomes dependent on a disciple or a well-wisher who frequently gives him money and nice paneer sabji and puri halwa and sweets and accommodations, then to the person he cannot speak truth because he will think, oh, if I speak truth, he will feel hurt, and if he feels hurt, my gulab jamuns will stop, my luxuries will stop. So a sadhu should be very, very simple, completely dependent on Krishna, not dependent on here and there for his maintenance. Then he cannot speak truth. Of course, whatever Krishna sends, he should be happy to accept and live simply. Sometimes it may be nice food stuff, sometimes it may be simple khichdi, sometimes it may be fasting, and he should be happy. speaking truth, speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, following truth, following Srimad Bhagavatam. And such a sadhu's pure words, they directly go into our heart and they may create magic in the heart. They remove the attachment in the heart. They create eagerness to serve Krishna. They create eagerness to chant and improve our bhakti. And that hearing is very, very powerful. And that is what has happened with Dhritarashtra. He heard from Vidura, and this happened. So we should continue to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It says in Bhagavatam, Nityam. Nityam means every day, regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nowhere it says Sunday Bhagavata Sevaya, that every Sunday you hear. No, it says Nityam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Right in your city, you are so fortunate. You are having everyday Zoom classes of Bhagavatam in the morning. So we should attend this every day. And of course, when we gather in the temple, we hear in person Sunday programs and house programs and festivals and every day. And we should have a set of Bhagavatam in the house and we should read every day. So every day when we read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we get attached to Krishna. The attachment develops, and detachment develops. Our attachment to other things reduces, and that's how we progress in spiritual life. So this is a very nice opportunity in association of devotees. We are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam to cut our attachments and further our attachment to Krishna. We should maintain this. So Prabhupada said the secret of success in Krishna consciousness is our ears. We should hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we chant also our rounds, we should hear the holy name. And this hearing will take care of all purification in the heart. Okay, we end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If there are any comments or questions, you may please ask.
Praise Gokuleshwar Prabhu ki jai. So please, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for a wide-ranging lecture pointing out very important points within the verse as well as instructions for us. Would anybody like to have comments, questions, reflections, discussion? Please share. Prabhuji's left time. We end at 9 o'clock, so.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for an insightful lecture. When I was reading Srila Prabhupada's purport, I had 3 questions, and almost like I found answers for every single question. The first thing is related to the ethical or moral implication when I was reading that purport, right? And you gave a wonderful justification, I can say. How does a deception can be justified? And the other question is related to, are there any references where we can see the deception was used for a greater cause? Especially, you quoted example of Yudhishthira, Prahlad Maharaj, and Vasudev. That was wonderful, Prabhu. I mean, those were the questions came up to my mind. What were the references where deception or cheating was used for a greater cause? And the last line, especially, I mean, the cheating, like some people might speculate that they can cheat and use for a greater cause. And you mentioned that, I mean, obviously Mahatmas are the one who can properly understand like how it can be used. Thank you, Prabhu. My question is in terms of difficult situations, right? I mean, we are in the material world, and controlling our mind is the difficult task, right? How can we properly use our intelligence to pacify mind in any kind of difficult situations?
Okay, Prabhu, what is, can you give me more specific, using our intelligence to control the mind in any difficult situation?
Right, so it can be a work-related problem. Like, I mean, we are all reading scriptures, but only thing is, at times, I mean, if the situation settle down, I mean, it's easy to pacify our mind, but it's in the spur of a moment, we might react and we might realize that we have done some mistake.
Right. See, to handle various emotions and feelings and responses of the mind in the spur of the moment, it is more important to prepare ourselves for that by everyday reading and chanting. On the spot, I am getting anger and I want a solution. It is like purchasing an umbrella after the rain comes. You will get wet. You have to purchase before the rain comes. So we have to train ourselves before anything happens, and that's why everyday sadhana is there. On the spur of the moment, our mind is not calm, especially with interaction with others, I would say we should leave the place, leave the room, or go to the corner, or if there is no other room, we should fold our hands and tell to the person, look, I am getting disturbed, angry, and in this situation, my response will not be good for our relationship. Let's talk about this when I am calm. Let's leave this solution. Let's leave this agenda now. We will deal with this agenda when I am calm. So we should not deal with agenda when our mind is not stable. So our intelligence is superior to the mind. But because mind is so strong, it overpowers intelligence. So every day we should read and hear Bhagavatam. That will make our intelligence strong because knowledge is food of intelligence. And a strong intelligence can control the mind. So control mind is our friend. Uncontrolled mind is a very bad enemy. So every day reading Bhagavatam will help us that when a spur of moment happens, we are ready. On the spot, if our mind is not in control and something happens, when we are calm, we should beg forgiveness and rectify the situation and learn a lesson so that we don't repeat it again. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Next. Damodora Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All close to Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This Dhritarashtra story was very it has a lot of things to learn, and recently only we were reading about it as well. So I wanted to ask Prabhu. So yesterday we were talking about tolerance, like how we should tolerate even the hard circumstances, and in one of the other Bhakti Shastri class I was learning that tolerance should happen in a peaceful way. We should not be like inside we are like burning inside and tolerating, oh, why is this happening, but we are not responding to that, but we should be peaceful inside as well. Now with respect to this, we see so many examples in our shastras where devotees get agitated as well. Even like Arjuna, we see that sometimes he get agitated, but later he's just surrendered. On maybe like even during agitation he surrendered, but we see examples where devotees get agitated. So I wanted to understand, and this is also in continuation with the Madhav Prabhu's question about tolerance. How can we not be how can we tolerate it plus peaceful inside as well, Prabhuji?
Well, what is to be tolerated? Pain. So if there is no pain, what will you tolerate? So for the only that person is eligible to tolerate who can experience pain. So I am peaceful inside, and what to tolerate? There's nothing to tolerate. It's like this: somebody gives me rasgulla, I say, okay, I will tolerate it. You're not tolerating, you're enjoying it. Karela, you may have to tolerate, right? So we are not stones that I will not have any emotions, I will not have any feelings of pain and suffering or disappointment and frustration. No, I am always peaceful inside and I am tolerant. It doesn't go well. Tolerance means something is happening inside which is not peaceful. So it is completely all right to have emotions and feelings which are not peaceful and still continue our duty with tolerance. Right? So it is cold and I am tolerating it. That means there is some inconvenience. It is pleasant and I am tolerating it. No, word doesn't fit there. Early morning I have to wake up. I don't like, but I wake up for Mangala Aarti. That is tolerance. Around say 9 o'clock I am waking up peacefully. That is not tolerance. So pain is okay, emotions are okay, feelings are okay. We are not stone. Sadhu doesn't mean stone. So all right, even if you're not peaceful in the mind and you're tolerating, that's all right. After some time you will be calm. Okay, Damodar Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, that's really nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next.
Any other comments or questions?
Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhupada. No question, Prabhu, but a comment. Thank you so much for your wonderful, such a lucid explanation, Prabhu. Very beautifully presented. What's so wonderfully presented about the examples of Mahatmas cheating others for a greater cause. It is so beautifully presented, Prabhu. We're extremely grateful for a wonderful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other?
Can I ask one more question, Prabhu?
Yeah.
In the purport, we read about Sanatan Goswami's, not Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami's sacrificing personal relationship for spiritual service, right? In the modern world, sacrificing personal relationship, like definitely with friends, we can choose like what, we can ignore them. But in terms of like personal relationship, it can be family or in a relationship, like how can we sacrifice personal relationships? Maintaining or like doing our spiritual service at the same time maintaining a personal relationship with family. Any instructions or guidelines or anything on that, Prabhu?
Okay, your question is maintaining a personal relationship in the family and Krishna consciousness.
Exactly.
Well, a husband and wife, or mother and child, father and child, brother and sister, they should always keep Krishna in the center. Just like I have two hands, left hand, right hand. If left hand is wounded, right hand will apply band-aid. If right hand is wounded, left hand will apply band-aid. Both hands always take care of each other, but together both hands beat the stomach. In the same way, husband, wife, or parent, child, brother, sister, they always should lovingly take care of each other and together feed Krishna. Which means Krishna is in the center. He should be happy and together we serve Krishna. And that's the way to maintain our relationships with Krishna in the center. And performing our duties and responsibilities towards each other in the family. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is extension to Vidagdha Madhav Prabhu's question, Prabhuji. Thank you for clarifying that. Now, sometimes, Prabhuji, as you know, all fingers alike on a hand, sometimes in these relationships, we don't see some favorable response, whatsoever reason. Maybe their past experiences or their conditioning. But how do we recoup with those?
Favorable response in Krishna consciousness or in general?
Yeah, if the Krishna, everybody is keeping Krishna in center, I would not see any issue. Everything is harmony. As I said, to clap, two hands have to come together, right? But if they do not believe in Krishna, then that is not their priority sometimes.
Yeah, so if we have certain duties towards them, we should do the duties very nicely and be a very nice role model devotee so that they don't feel repelled to Krishna consciousness. They don't think because of Krishna consciousness, my husband or my son or whatever our relation is, because of Krishna consciousness, they are not performing their duties or they are not giving attention to us. It's all because of Krishna consciousness. I lost my so and so. So we should not give that kind of image. We should attend to our duties towards them and we should be a good devotee so that we are role model for them. And when they want to turn towards Krishna, they remember us. And we keep the door open whenever they want to turn towards Krishna. But we don't force them so that they don't get repelled.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, it's 9 a.m. I think you all have services to do, and Prabhuji left plenty of time for us to have wonderful discussion, conversations in relationship to this verse, and also beyond this verse. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for taking time out of your busy schedule to explore this topic of quote unquote cheating. Please join for what I'm sure is going to be a wonderful, insightful, and inspiring lecture for Sunday Feast at 11:30 with His Grace Gokuleshwar Prabhu. I want to thank Krishna Kesha Prabhu and the devotees from Seattle that kindly brought Prabhuji down here to Portland. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kibho Sindhu.
Upasrideva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.